Hey friends, what's going on? Welcome to this video. If you're here, it's because you saw my audition last night, my blind audition for The Voice, and I'm super excited that you're here. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, make sure that you go ahead and do that and follow me along in this journey as I try to duke it out and within Team Buble, and super excited to learn from the master. And I think it's going to be really, really cool. But I wanted to take a moment and just kind of break down my audition. Y'all have probably already seen it, and I've certainly been attentive to the engagement and positive and constructive criticism. And so I just thought that I would take a minute and just show you what my practice sheet looked like, and the things that I aimed for that I was successful in, and the things that I was not successful in. And there were many things that people said that they were actually correct in. And so here we go. So I've got it pulled up here. I like, especially when I'm practicing a song, I like to just make a lot of notes, like physical notes. Sometimes iPads are great, but there's nothing quite as good as just a nice crispy piece of paper. And so you'll forget, please forgive my chicken scratch. I also like writing in cursive just because I can just go a lot faster than just writing in print. And so let's just start from the top here. We see here in the very beginning of the song, oceans apart, day after day, and I slowly go insane. I'm not going to put the video because, I want you guys to go watch the performance on their actual YouTube channel, and so I'm going to tag it below. But anyway, so you can see here I put an AHT. So one of the things that happens to us, people who are foreign, they didn't really talk about my backstory very much, but I was born and raised in Puerto Rico, moved to the U.S. at the age of 13, and so I really struggled with English, even though I was already bilingual. And the thing that I struggled with was enunciation, and so there were a lot of words that I said incorrectly, and so I took a lot of time privately to learn how to over-enunciate words. And then to top all of that off, I went to school for classical voice at Southeastern University, and where in classical music you really hyper-emphasize over-enunciation. And in fact, I remember my first, one of the first pieces that I performed was Come Again, Sweet Love. And I remember my voice teacher saying, make sure that you open your mouth. And I remember saying, to die, there's this part in the song where it says, I sit, I sigh, I weep, I faint, I die. And then I just opened my mouth like, die. I mean, it was very, very funny. And so, but it really requires you to chew those words. And so there was some of that already in there that I was trying to get rid of, right? And so some of that over-enunciation by, instead of me saying oceans apart, oceans apart, and just kind of throw that away. And, next, day instead of day after day, day after. Day after day. I didn't do great at that. You go back and listen on that, and I definitely said day after day. And I slowly go insane. I know I'm not in the original key. I know the original key is in C. If I see you next to never. So the same thing here, never, never. And it's so important. I've really been working on improving my commercial stylization since I graduated college. I graduated college in spring of 2010. And so you're looking at 15 years of me just working on that. Now my voice is naturally going to lend itself to be better, more in that classical stuff. I used to travel in a group that did pop opera, and more commonly known as classical crossover, but my voice is really just going to lean into that. But that doesn't mean that I haven't been trying to learn how to improve my commercial vocal. And there's a lot of things that are required in order for you to give a compelling and honest commercial vocal. And even though you want to chew the words and you want to enunciate them well, especially with Richard Marks, who was extremely kind and said I did a great job in this song, there are things that I just missed, and you can just see it right there. I definitely said never, how can we say forever? You see the little tail down here that I made of making sure that I fall off of that. Then let's go into the chorus. Oh, and I almost missed that. Low volume cannot mean low energy. So here's one of the things that was occurring, and depending on where we go here, and what they say next, there's going to be some things that also explain why I was singing the way that I was singing. Yes, I was extremely nervous. I don't think anyone wouldn't be. You're about to stand in front of John Legend, Michael Bublé, Kelsey Ballerini, and Adam Levine, and your life is going to change or potentially change within 90 seconds. And so you're on deck, you're waiting to walk out on stage, and you just start feeling all this. So you try to breathe, you try to do all the things, but one of the things, I'm not going to say exactly where we were recording, and many of you internet sleuths might find out where that actually was, but it's extremely dry. Yeah, all of you know that it's in California. It's extremely dry, and I hadn't been in such a dry climate like that for such an extended period of time as we were getting ready for this audition. And you feel it in your voice. Your voice all of a sudden feels like it lacks grip. I don't know if it's inflammation. There was some inflammation in my voice, but it wasn't due to that. But your voice feels like it starts losing its grip. You try to hydrate as much as you can, and it doesn't do anything. You try to drink tea, and it just feels like a desert in your vocal cords, and you're just kind of up there trying to do your best. And so in an effort for me not to over-sing, to try to get some of that traction back, I try to go with what my mentor always says, always go light and right. But in my approach of me going light and right and kind of not singing too loud straight out of the gate, then I can oftentimes, and we as singers oftentimes can just have low energy. And so there's that warning right there. Low volume cannot be low energy. So anyways, moving into the chorus, you see wherever you go, which I definitely sang wherever. Wherever you go, whatever you do. You really want to go in that direction instead of saying wherever, whatever. Otherwise, I end up leaning a little bit, more Shakira. And breath, that's a little breath mark there. I will be right here waiting. I wrote waiting because, again, over-enunciation, waiting. I will be right here waiting for you. Again, whatever it takes or how my heart breaks, I will be right here. And I put an intentional breath there because it just made it a little bit more dramatic, right? And so you see here in this chorus as we're approaching the bridge, the little short bridge, and then the key change, urgency. Make sure you're starting to build up this song. You're going from somewhere very, very quiet, and you're wanting to build that up. So, or how my heart breaks, I will be right here waiting for you. And then, excuse me, but in the end, if I'm with you, I'll take big breath. And I try to take it, because that's where the key change was going to happen. We're going to go from that high note on on G to that A, moving from C to D in terms of keys. You got to take that breath. I had to open the mouth, which looking back on it, when I hit that G, I didn't really do it that great. My tongue was moving a little too much for my taste. To keep it straight, it's so, especially when you're struggling with your voice a little bit and you're nervous, then you might add a little bit even more vibrato than my voice already had in some of those phrases. And so I had the reminder to open my mouth and to keep it straight tone. I'll take the chance, and then flutter or add some vibrato at the end of that phrase, which I think I did well, and I was able to do that. And let's see. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means. Let's see. What does that mean? The same thing. Whatever. Wherever you go, whatever you do. And so I did kind of like that cry at the end of that phrase. Whatever you do, I will be right here waiting for you. I've seen the comments. Some people said that the second half of the performance was better. John Legend said that it was much better on the second half. I agree. I felt the exact same way, and I think there was some sort of relief, obviously, that like Michael had already turned his chair, and honestly, it kind of threw me off when I first saw him, and I saw that he turned his chair around. It made me a little bit more nervous. But after I nailed that key change, and then I saw Adam turned around, you just kind of feel this cool sensation, and the nerves start kind of going away, and you get in your groove. And so I felt like I got in my groove. There was this whole thing here, in this bottom right quadrant. Let the volcano bubble up. That's kind of the same thing. Urgency, energy. You're wanting to do that as you're going, but in the end, if I'm with you, I'll take the chance. I want to make sure to not overcompress, which thankfully I didn't. More straight tone on the long phrases. Again, straight tone. And I'm not great at that, and I'm working on that after all these years. And not only that, but as you as nerves start to settle in, to remember all of these things. I mean, I practiced this song so much, this cut of the song, and so I did my best. And I am proud of the performance, but just to show you all that it's extremely difficult. You see all of these things here. Oops. Let's see. I don't know why it's highlighting there. Let's see if it lets me. Nope, it's not going to let me do that. Let's see here. But anyway, you get the idea. You can see it in the wherever, whatever, big breath. All of these things. And this goes to show that no matter how much you prepare, you still cannot account for some of the nerves that you're going to feel. And you want to use the nerves as fuel. And I agree with that. I try to breathe deep. Remember, I put my head down. I try to remember my first words of the song, and I try to do the best that I could so that I wouldn't mess that up. But it's a fine balance. It's a fine balance trying to remember all of these things. And so there you go. There you have it. For those of you who may identify some of these things in my performance, oh yeah, he should have opened his mouth more. He should have done more straight tone. He should have taken better breaths. Stay true to the style. I missed that one. You got to stay true to the style as you're singing something that you're not necessarily super familiar with. Low volume cannot be low energy. it's super, super important. So for those of you who were like, this guy sucked, yeah, I did, at least in some of these parts, but I did do my best to prepare. And for all of you singers who are watching this and can maybe identify in that regard, then I encourage you to do this. If you have an iPad and an Apple Pen or whatever, or a stylus, whatever, make notes on your songs. And that way when you practice with these things in mind, and they get lacerated into your brain. And that way it increases the chances of you doing them as you practice this repetition. So anyway, this is just a little bit of a breakdown. If you haven't seen the performance, make sure to go to the Voice YouTube channel or on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Please follow me on all the things. And I hope you guys enjoy this journey. I wanted to peel back the curtain and just kind of show you what my practice process ahead of this audition looked like and what the end result was. And so I'm super excited to be a part of Team Buble, and I'm ready to work. And I hope you guys are too. So be sure to cheer me on, and I will continue to make these notes as I prepare for what the next round holds. And yeah, anyways, thanks for watching this video. Again, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one.